Hi everyone, it's Neve here and welcome to my art journaling channel and welcome to 2019. This is my first video for this year. So today, or when I made this, which was just on New Year's I think, or the day after New Year's, I decided that I wanted to have a page in my journal to celebrate the new year. So I'm starting out in my junk journal, which, as those people who follow my journals, my channel, will know, this is the journal I use a lot of my Little Raven ink printables that I get from her Patreon site. So I tend to use all of those printables in this journal and just go around with lots of bright colours. It's a very bright journal to work in. So I'm just starting down by working on a double page and putting down some lime Dina Wakley paint and some, I think it was bubblegum pink Dylusions paint or a fuchsia paint. And then what I decided to do was to cut up some of my printables. One of the reasons I did this is I've got this huge collection of all these little characters which I absolutely adore, and they're so cute that I don't tend to put them into any journal. So I love the fact that I've got them all in one journal so I can go back and have a look at them at any stage. But two, because they're so gorgeous, I don't tend to use them. So I thought that I would, get out all the ones I really loved and put them on one page, and they can have a New Year's party together. Seeing I didn't have one because I've got a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. I was in bed fairly early that night, I think. So I'm just going through and fussy cutting all of these images using my small pair of Tim Holtz scissors, which are really handy for going around these little corners. And again, for those people who usually follow this channel, you will know that I print all my printables now onto sticker paper, and I find that so much easier because I only have to fussy cut once and then just peel off the background and stick it down. I don't need to worry about all the little fine bits trying to get glue on it and glue coming out over the top. It just all sticks down and just makes my life so much easier and saves so much time. So the time that I do spend fussy cutting, I know it's a one-off thing. I don't need to worry about that anymore. With this page that I'm doing, as I was doing this, sort of thinking about what all these little characters represented for me and how they made me feel. And it was a real time while I was doing this to sort of reflect on the year that's been and what was ahead. And that was what was my focus for sort of the journaling that was going to go on this page. Just sort of a celebration of what's happened this year, particularly creatively for me, I suppose, and what was to come. So my big thing for this year, for 2019, I can't believe it's actually 2019, is for me personally, I've been on maternity leave and I was lucky enough to use my long service leave, so I was able to get a year off with both my kidlets, which was just beautiful. But unfortunately I have to go back to work, and I'm trying to work out how to go back to work, how to juggle 2 small kids and try and keep my creative time. And I was also very lucky to be appointed to a design team as well, so to keep up my commitments to that and to keep up my commitments to doing this YouTube channel, because I absolutely adore doing this. In the past I was a designer and educator for a company that I used to run, and we used to do lots and lots of demonstrations around the country, and it was my favourite part of the job. I loved getting out there and meeting people. So this is my kind of surrogate of that, getting out and sort of demoing and showing you what's happening and how things work and tips and tricks. So I really enjoy doing that and sharing this with you, and I would hate to fall behind in that. So this year is all about a big juggling act and working out how to get really organised and to be able to get ahead. So January for me this year is my get ahead time, and I'm working very hard behind the scenes, getting lots of videos up in advance, ready for you to go, getting all my design team projects up and ready to go. So I've got a few months up my sleeve that I can then wrap my head around work and make sure I'm doing the best for the kids in my classes as well. So it's going to be a busy few months, but hopefully it will all work out really well. So as you can see, as I put these pictures together, they're just gorgeous, and they're just really, really quirky little images that sort of sum up so many different parts of life and people and my artwork. And I love that Courtney is just so generous with her artwork, that she shares it and lets people use it in their artwork, and to incorporate her beautiful artistry in your own work. So we are so very lucky that she does that and lets us use her beautiful images. And I find them so inspiring. Every time I look through my collage bag with all her images in it, I always come across something that really inspires me, whether it's her beautiful mark making that she has, or the colors that she uses, or even just the emotions on the little figures' faces. They always trigger something in me and really inspire me to get something done. The other thing that I'm finding is when I get stuck, I often come back to this junk journal that was gifted to me, and it really inspires me. One, that it was handmade by someone. I was very lucky that Chrissy made this for me and did such a beautiful job with it. But it's also a really lovely size. It's one single page is about A5, which is half an A4 page. And it's just a perfect size for doing something really quickly. I tend to work in double layouts most of the time when I work. So working on something bigger, while I really love that, takes a little bit more time. This I can do fairly quickly and easily and still come away with something I really love. The other thing I really like about this is that even though it's very eclectic with what's in it, I've made a really conscious decision that this journal is going to be bright, have lots of bright colours in it, and it's only going to have any sort of the major collage elements that I use in it are from Little Raven ink. And that again makes it really easy when you're sitting down, because I've just got a bag where this journal sits in with all the printables in it already sort of cut down, and I just need to take that bag somewhere with me and chuck it all together. And if I'm sitting at my desk, I've got my paints there and my watercolors and my pens that I can add extra stuff to, but I can make it as simple or as complicated as I want it to be, and usually it's fairly simple. So now I'm going in, now I've got all my characters stuck down with these words, again coming from Courtney, and they're just little intention words about some things that I wanted to sort of focus on. So make it happen, be intentional, do the hard things, be perfectly imperfectly perfect, which sort of sums up what I'm feeling at the moment. Make every moment count, and be fearless, darling. So this is my year of being fearless and working hard, but hopefully making it all work. I also really love that the woman in the background with the glasses on is holding a heart that says grateful, because I've been really grateful for everything that's happened to me up until now, but particularly in 2018 and sort of heading into this new year. It's just been really exciting, all the stuff that's been happening, and I've loved the fact that while I've always been doing my art, I've been really focused on it in 2018, and it's brought me so much joy that it's really made it crystal clear in my head it's something I must keep up and keep going with, even if it's just for me. It makes me really happy. And by putting stuff on Instagram and putting stuff on YouTube, it makes me accountable, not only to you guys, but to myself, that if I've got it out there, it means I'm making time for myself, that I'm doing this. So it's a little bit selfish of me to put stuff out here. I'm really enjoying doing it, but it also keeps me on track to make sure that I keep doing it. So at the moment, I'm just going through the page with some Posca paint pens and just putting in some extra mark making, doing some colouring. And I was very lucky that Santa knows me very well and gifted me a huge big batch of Posca paint pens in all the different sizes and shapes and colours. So I now have a full complement of the 0.8 ones, which are the thicker markers, and the 0.1 fine markers, which are excellent for doing journaling with. And in the background now I'm just going to do some journaling about this year and what I'm feeling and what my intentions are going to be, I suppose. So going in again with a thicker pen, and I chose the turquoise because I've been eyeing this turquoise colour off for so long and never actually found it until it arrived in my box. So I decided I needed to christen it, and it worked really well. It pops really lovely, beautifully on the hot pink. I'm just going through and doing my journaling in my usual way, which is making it sort of really random with the alternate lines varying in thicknesses, and then just going through with uppercase letters. And the reason I do that is it just adds not only sort of readable journaling, but it gives you a sort of pattern effect in the background, sort of like doodling or Z-tangling in the background. It's a really simple way to do it. I'm never quite happy with my handwriting when I write on pages, so it's either totally illegible or I write like this. When I was doing it though, I found that it kind of disappeared into the background somewhat, so I decided, and because I had them there, which I suppose is more the point, I just want to play with them, to go around my letters and just do a bit of shadowing with the fine white Posca paint pen, just to make it pop from the page a little bit, look a little bit 3D-ish with a shadow on it, and to make it slightly more readable, but also sort of the white lines from the journaling were really sticking out. So by putting white back into the writing again, it kind of blends it all back in again and makes it look more unified in the whole piece. So there's pretty much the end of the journal page. I decided once I'd finished this, I was looking at it and decided that I needed to actually date this page. Now, I don't tend to date my journal pages. I usually have a pretty good memory of what sequence they come in, even though I tend to work randomly. I think I've counted now, I've got 5 different journals on the go at the moment. I do date when I start a journal, just so I've got an idea of how long it takes me to finish it. But I figured, seeing this is my New Year's party, that I needed to put 2019 on it. Apart from the fact I needed to actually wrap my head around the fact it is 2019, because it still feels like 2000 to me. It's very scary as a teacher when you turn to the kids and go, remember when the Sydney Olympics are on? And they just look at you blankly because they weren't even a twinkle in their parents' eyes at that stage. So I've got my thickers out, and of course, because it is New Year's, I need to go glittery, and I had these turquoise stickers, so they were just perfect. So this is the final page. I was really happy with how it turned out, and it was just a fun page to do. I was able to chill out watching Netflix in the background while I was cutting out my images, play with my new paint pens for Christmas, and just have a ball. I hope you guys have had a wonderful 2018 and that you have a very successful and creative 2019. I can't wait to continue to hang out and play with you, and until next time, have a great day. Bye.